Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 5th, and today is going to be just a quick recap. There wasn't a whole lot to report today. The overall market, the S&P 500, was basically flat most of the day. So hopefully people were, pumping the brakes a little bit whenever SPY or the overall market tends to be choppy like this. This makes it harder to trade individual stock tickers. So a couple things I want to go through today, but first and foremost, if you want to tick the little bell, you'll be notified next time I send out any updates through the daily updates, and please subscribe to the channel if you like the content. So moving right into it, SPY, yesterday we talked about how we were looking and anticipating a gap fill of the 332 area. So if we look back to pre-COVID highs, you can see here there was a gap here at 332.50. We didn't quite make it there today. Close enough though, in my opinion. We hit 332.39, so that's pretty much in my books a gap fill. So that's what I was calling for yesterday. We got it based on the close over that long-term resistance trend line. So the fact that we closed just above it gave me, an early signal that we were probably going to fill that gap today, which we did. So again, SPY, one thing that's still concerning on the daily time frame, we see here we have decreasing volume on the daily, and we're going higher. So less volume is moving us higher. So not always a good sign. We want to see increasing volume, not decreasing volume. And on the monthly, again, I've been watching this. We basically hit that monthly downtrend RSI trend line, which is bearish divergence. So the price is going up and the RSI is trending down. So we got lower highs and lower lows. We're basically right on that trend line now. And I would expect that we would test that at some point tomorrow. Secondly, I wanted to get into a trade that I made earlier today on DDD. They actually have their earnings coming out any minute now. It was due for 4 p.m. Eastern. We also have some other big companies reporting after the bell today. We have Square, Roku, Fastly, Etsy, Western Digital, and Seago, which is a 5G company. So it'll be interesting to see the results from those earning reports, which I will provide updates later on today. So again, just a quick trade review. DDD 3D system, so they make 3D printers, that sort of thing. This morning, you can see here I drew this channel. I'll just zoom out here maybe to the hourly. So you can see here we were respecting this channel quite a bit the last little while. So breaking it down, zooming in a bit here on the 5-minute. So this morning when we opened up, we tested the $7 level, and then we immediately pulled back. I was looking for a decent bounce, especially from my entry here at 673. We hit a low of 672, and from there, we just ramped right into earnings. We jumped 5%. We closed at the high of the day. So the high of the day is 706, which is extremely bullish. So if we look in here on the daily time frame, you can see here it has a huge lower wick. So possibly people are betting that the earnings are going to beat, and we had an uptick in volume. Everything's looking good here for the bulls and those that are long the stock. The stock has been beaten down for quite some time. If we go back to the high, you can see here it was $97. So, we've corrected quite a bit. We're looking at about 95% correction from the lows. And if we zoom in here, you can see that we were on our 5th monthly inside bar. We had a little bit of a fake out there just to shake out any final weak hands. So I think that if we break the high here, which is 707, which we closed at 706, I think we're going to get a sense of direction moving forward here at the end of this earnings report. So tomorrow should dictate whether or not we see the momentum shift. If we look at the weekly, we're in an equilibrium. So you get the low, the high, higher low, lower high, double bottom with a little bit of a bear break. And now here we are breaking out over the previous 2 resistance candles on the weekly and closing above. So everything's trending in the right direction. Like I said, the daily looks great. We just need to get over this 708, and next resistance, we don't have any daily resistance up until $8. So that was my trade review on DDD. I entered here on the pullback, anticipating an hourly lower high. So whenever we pull back from a resistance level, when we pull back that significantly, we expect a decent bounce. So that was the case here. I was expecting an hourly lower high. We got a tiny hourly higher low here and changed the hourly trend. If we look into the 5-minute from my entry here, I actually exited up here in the 685 level. I was anticipating an hourly lower high, so I jumped out. I bought a little bit back here on a 5-minute higher low, probably about 20% of my original position, and I rode it into the end of the day, and I'm actually going to be swinging that position overnight based on how strong we closed. So as you can see, we formed a little 5-minute higher low here, and then into a 5-minute trend change, another higher low, higher high. So we've got quite a few supports here on the 5-minute, and a new 5-minute higher low into the end of the day. So crucial level on the 5-minute is 696. So depending on how we react from the earning report, we just need to hold that 696 level. Bulls still in full control. Checking in on Bitcoin. Bitcoin saw some bull break over the course of the evening last night, and it held its gains fairly well throughout the day. And we saw that trickle over into RIOT, which is a blockchain play. RIOT has been absolutely volatile city galore the last little while. Each day I see it move 10, 15% like it's nobody's business. If we zoom in here, zoom out here on the hourly. So we had an hourly trend change and a gap up with the Bitcoin strength. And just zooming in here to the 5-minute, you can see here from this morning, we pulled back, we hit 384, and from there, in 30 minutes, we bounced 12%, 13%, just crazy volatile. And then we actually hit 445. So over the course of the last few days, the stock's up 60%. So if you bought whenever the hype just started to re-enter the crypto space, you'd be up almost 100% on your investment. I probably wouldn't go long the stock here at this point. I would strongly advise against it. Again, this isn't financial advice. Do your own research. All investments have risks. But personally, I would be just doing quick flips. So you can see here we hit the high of the day, 445, and then we pulled back another 13%. So you're seeing 10% double-digit swings to the upside, to the downside. So if you are entering bullish, just make sure you use tight stops. And if you are entering bearish, again, just make sure you're using tight stops. So the time to go long this stock was months ago. So if I go back to the monthly time frame, you can see here in the March dump, we hit 50 cents. And from there, we bounced 700%. So again, it's easy to get FOMO and jump in on these names, but just remember that the harder stocks run, the faster they pull back. So we're definitely watching the correlation with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, no red flags for Bitcoin. Everything's looking good for the bulls, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. There's a lot of great earnings out tonight, huge companies that we'll see how that reaction in the market unfolds. And I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. Have yourself a great day.